I have been staring at the same desktop for a few months now, and it's time for a change. I've been using the same wallpaper for a couple of months. I've been using the same terminal color scheme, basically the same fonts. I'm just tired of my desktop. Now, I'm not one of those people that constantly tweak the desktop, but you know what? I've been living in this for several weeks now, and it's time for a change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt my first rice. What is rice? Well, I'm talking about rice in the sense of r/Unix porn, for those of you familiar with that subreddit, the Unix porn subreddit. Basically, it's a screenshot subreddit where people post their pimped out customizations for their Linux distros, some BSD screenshots. Occasionally they even post Mac screenshots. No Windows screenshots allowed on Unix porn though. Obviously the name Unix porn, so it needs to be a Unix based operating system to post there. But they call these customizations they do rices. Why? I don't know. I think the etymology of the word, someone asked a question a while back on Unix porn. It originates from race-inspired cosmetic enhancements, RICE, R-I-C-E. Also refers to pimped out Japanese bikes and cars. People often refer to them as rice burners. So anytime you pimp your desktop over on our Unix porn, it's called a rice. So today I'm going to attempt my first rice because I am tired of looking at this. So let's get started. And the first thing we should do is change the terminal color scheme. Now, if I go to my desktop here, you guys know that anytime I open a terminal, for example, let me open up Termite. I have the solarized color scheme here. Any of my terminal-based applications that I run are going to be with that same solarized color scheme. So I really would like to get a new terminal color scheme. So what I'll do is I'll pick a nice scheme to base everything else around. So there is a website called terminal.sexy. Terminal.sexy. And in this website, it's interactive. You can actually play around with the colors and create your own color scheme if you wish. But they do have this tab down here called Scheme Browser. If I click that, they have some pre-made themes already. So I like dark themes, so I'm going to check out a few of the dark themes. It even gives us some sample code to look at. Ashes.dark here. That's actually not a bad theme. You know what? I could do something with that. Play around with some of the other dark themes here. That one, that's not bad. I've looked through most of these, and Solarized Dark, of course, is the one I've been using, and Solarized is great. Very easy on the eyes. The colors just pop out, and I can look at Solarized Dark all day, no problem. But again, it is time for a change, and I found this one here called Ocean.dark. And you know what? That is pretty easy on the eyes too, and very attractive. It's not, it's a dark theme, but it's not black like so many other terminal color schemes, and it's not that dark blue that the Solarized Dark theme used. It's more of a bluish, kind of purplish hint to it. Still dark, but got a slight color to it. Some pastel colors too, with the pastel green, red, blue, purple colors. So what I think I'm going to do is use this terminal color scheme, and I'm going to base my rice around this. So if I click the Export tab and click Export down here, it gives me the code here to paste in my X resources file. So for those of you that are not familiar with how Linux works, how a lot of your terminal color schemes work, I'm going to use URXVT as my terminal emulator of choice, and URXVT gets its terminal color scheme from a file called X resources. In your home directory, if I go to the home directory, there is a hidden file called .x resources. Let me open that. I'm going to open it up in the Genie text editor. And this is your X resources file, what I would need to do is take that code that I got from terminal.sexy and just paste that code here, you know, in the appropriate section, save this file, and then run the following command. Let me show you what command to run. All right, so I've saved this document, this X resources file in Genie. So I closed Genie. I don't need the web browser open anymore. I'm going to close the web browser. Now, let me open up a terminal. So I just opened up the Termite terminal, even though I'm going to use URXVT for my terminal emulator. I have Termite also installed. But for just demonstration purposes, I opened up Termite to show you the command I need to run. xrdb space dash merge space, and then the location of my X resources file. Run that command. Now close your terminal, and now when you open up any terminal emulator that uses the X resources file for its color scheme and configuration, things like URXVT, Xterm, those sorts of terminals, now they should respect the X resources config file and give me the color scheme that I'm after. And it does. And yeah, already I'm really glad I chose that color scheme. Just a quick ls. Yeah, really nice color scheme. How does HTOP look? HTOP looks really, really good in this. Yeah, really cool. Awesome mixer. Not much in awesome mixer. Anyway, yeah, so I really, really like that terminal color scheme. So let me change the layout here. I'm going to go to a floating layout. And while I like the color scheme, my wallpaper and the Qtile top panel are still using the Solarized Dark theme. I need to get those to match what's going on in the terminal. So what to tackle first? The Qtile colors and the top panel, or should I tackle the wallpaper first? You know what? I think the wallpaper is a pretty easy one to tackle, because honestly, I think, let me close HTOP, I think I could just take this wallpaper I'm using, spend like 2 minutes in GIMP, and just alter the colors slightly, and get the wallpaper I'm after. So let me change desktops. I have a desktop labeled GFX for graphics, a hotkey to Super 8 on the keyboard here. And then I'm going to launch Rofi, and then launch GIMP. And let's see. Let me open my backgrounds folder. I find the wallpaper I've been using, this one here. And let's change the color scheme. Now, let me open up a terminal so I have something to work against here. So I'm going to open up HTOP just so I have a reference here. And then the wallpaper here, what I'm going to do is go to colors. Use one of the color tools. How about hue saturation? That's probably an easier one to use. And the hue, let's see which direction we want to go. Not in that direction. I don't want the wallpaper to become more green. I want it to become more purple. Yeah, something in that range. Except it needs to be a lot less saturated. Wow, that's pretty close already. Maybe lighten it a little bit. Yeah, I don't have to spend too much time in GIMP actually to get kind of to where I want. That is, you know what? That's close enough. I could probably work with that. I don't think I want to play around with that anymore. I think just for about 30 seconds worth of me goofing off, I think that's okay for now. I mean, I could tweak it a little more, but what am I going to call this wallpaper? I'll call it rice. Rice.ping. Yep, replace it. Apparently I already had a rice.ping, but we're going to replace that one. All right, discard changes. Yep. So close out GIMP. Now let me open up Nitrogen. Nitrogen is what I use to set the wallpaper here on my system. So find the new wallpaper I created called rice.ping. And I have 3 monitors, so I need to set it for screen 1, screen 2, and screen 3. Close. Alright, and that is my new wallpaper. Does it kind of match what I was trying to do with my new terminal color scheme? You know what, I could probably get that a little closer. But you know what, for now, I'll roll with it. Let's work on the top panel. So the top panel, what I need to do is, let's see. Let me go back to Genie. Let's open up Genie, and let me open up my config.py. So Qtile's config file is located in a folder. Let me open up a file manager so you can see your config folder. It's a hidden folder in your home directory. It's called .config. And the .config folder is where most programs put their config files, including Qtile. There's a folder in here called Qtile. And then in the Qtile folder, there's a program called config.py. You open that up. I've already got it open though. And this is my Qtile config. Now, what I need to do, most of this, like all my key bindings and stuff, I don't want to change. I just want to change the color, mainly the color of the top bar. All of that stuff is right here. So if I played around a minute, if I go back to the X resources and I use some of these colors and paste them into my Qtile config, change these, I think I could get this pretty close. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes off camera and play around with that. Okay, so I played around with this for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to save my Qtile config and I'm going to restart Qtile. Alright, so I restarted Qtile. And yeah, you know what, already I think that's pretty close. That is not bad. Let me open up. You know, some of my key bindings are not working because I must have played around with some other stuff. But I know HTOP was working. You know, that's not bad. Does IRC work? The IRC chat client? This is pretty good. The windows need to be a little more transparent because I use such a dark background, and I'm using a dark background in the terminals as well. I would like to probably add some transparency if I end up using that wallpaper. But yeah, already I like what I'm doing. One thing I want to do though, since I'm taking the time to really pimp this out the right way, I want to add like some power line to this. You guys see I have the bash power line shell here. Also in Vim, if I open up something in Vim, such as, can I open up my Qtile config file in Vim, or let me just open up anything, blank document in Vim. Say I have Powerline in Vim. I would like to see if I could maybe add Powerline in this top panel here in Qtile. I think I can, because reading the documentation for Qtile, they do allow for images in the panel. So I think I could set, like, you know, these widgets a certain color and then have images, you know, the little arrow images next to them that should create the power line effect if I do it correctly. So that's what I'm going to attempt. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my 8th desktop, which is of course the graphics desktop. That way I can open up GIMP. Oop, that is not where I wanted to be. Oh well, let me get there. Alright, and let me open up or create a new document here in GIMP. The width, I'm going to go with width is 13. I know the height of my panel is 25. And I'm talking about the top bar panel. So I'm going to do this power line effect the correct way. And let me zoom way in here. And that is actually already the background here for my top panel. I'd already had that in GIMP. So to create a power line kind of effect, I would need to do something along the lines of like maybe that. Anyway, hit enter. And then fill that with a different color. So if I go back to Genie, do I still have Genie open somewhere? What were the colors I chose? Let's see. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, that's a good color. Go back to that one. And basically I'm going to fill in that triangle with this color here. And that will be one of my power line triangles. That will basically sit next to one of these widgets in the panel. And I'll make the background for the widget red too, so you have that power line kind of effect. I need to create 1, 2, 3, at least 3 of these power line triangles, different colors. I may actually add some more widgets though. Qtile, reading their documentation, they have a number of different widgets that I've never used before, but I think are pretty neat. Some of them are kind of new. I don't know if they've had some of these, at least back when I first started. I don't think they had some of the ones I'm seeing in their documentation. So I'm going to add a couple of new widgets. I think I'm going to try to add 5 or 6 widgets to the panel and have them all in a power line sort of configuration. Alright, so let me close out GIMP. Yeah, discard changes. Alright, if I go to Google and do a search, Qtile built-in widgets, I've searched that particular document a number of times, and you go to their built-in widgets. I am on the latest Qtile version because of course I'm running a rolling release. I'm in Manjaro, and you have a ton of widgets that you can add to this top panel. Things like battery. Of course, I'm not on a laptop. Backlight. Let me scroll slowly. Bitcoin tracker doesn't interest me. CPU graph. I can always open up HTOP. Canto is nice for an RSS newsfeed reader, but Canto is kind of a dead project. I have used that widget in the past. Check updates would be nice. Clipboard. And this one, CMuse. Now I do use the CMuse music player, terminal music player. I think I have it hotkeyed to not that one. Close. Not that one either. I can't remember what I had it hotkeyed to. Might take me a second, or I could just open CMuse here. Anyway, I could play something in CMuse and have it tell me the title and the track here in the panel, so I may add that widget. Anything else I want to add? Polls, Gmail checker. I don't use Gmail. A lot of this stuff really doesn't interest me. Mail directory, that could be interesting. Memory, no. MPD, well, if I'm using CMuse, I don't need MPD. Net, I've already got my internet up and down speeds. Notify, Pacman. Okay, so this, I think I'll add CMuse and Pacman. Pacman is going to tell me the available updates in the Pacman package manager. So this particular widget, of course, is only going to work on Arch or Arch-based distros because you have to have Pacman installed for this widget to install, or to, yeah. So let me add those widgets and see if I can get the power line effect going behind them. All right, so let me close all of this. I had Genie open. Now, in Genie, this is my config.py again. Now, in my particular config, I have this section that I've got labeled widgets. And I'm going to upload all of this to GitLab. Anybody that wants to pull down my config files and check it out, it'll all be on GitLab. But now I've added some widgets that I didn't have previously, namely Pacman, widget Pacman. And I can give it a command to execute. Right now I'm just telling it to open up a terminal because I just want the terminal open up, and I'll do a sudo pacman syu. But I could create some kind of script that will automatically update the system if I wanted this. And that's probably what I'll eventually do, but for now I'm not going to take the time to write a simple script here on camera because mainly I'm interested in ricing my desktop today, not doing any kind of scripting. I added the CMuse widget here. So I've got that. Pretty good with that. And right behind every widget, I included widget.image. And the file name is the location to some images I created. What are the images I created? Let's see, if I go to my .config file, Qtile, you see all these. Let me zoom in. These were created in GIMP. These are going to create my power line effect here. Those triangles. So I've got everything set. I've got the background for all the widgets set to something different, and then I've got the arrows corresponding to the different backgrounds for each widget also set. So if I save the document and I restart Qtile, I should have my new theme. Let me do the restart. Okay, and I think it works. Let me close Genie. I don't need it open for now. But there you go. It's my new color scheme with a power line effect kind of going on in the top panel. The updates for Pac-Man, I had Pac-Man updates, the 0 there's nothing to update. That's why that's at 0. That is working. My CMuse widget is not working, but I'm not playing CMuse right now. I probably need to fire up CMuse and test it just to see if I can get it to work. So I believe in CMuse you have to hit 5 on the keyboard, and then here I can go to any directory. I'll play something that will not get me flagged. This is my own music. This is me playing the trombone. And it is not showing up in the top here. I wonder why. Let me see if I restart Qtile once again. It's still not showing. Let me make sure that I had that widget configured correctly. Max characters, update interval, yeah, all that looks good. Not sure. I might have to log in and log back out and see if that works. I can't do that now, obviously, because I'm recording this video. But maybe the next time I pause the recording, I will log in and log back out and see if that works. But that's a minor thing. One thing I do need to do is I didn't create good Unicode characters for all these. You see 3 of them are using the same Unicode characters. I need to change that. So let me get back into Genie. And for the Unicode characters, let's see what I want to use. Let me go to a web browser. Firefox. And Unicode. Let's see, what do we want to use? Well, for music, there's several good Unicode music symbols. I'm just going to use these 2 eighth notes that are beamed together. I'm going to Control-C to copy that. That is a Unicode character. And I can just paste that here in Genie. Where did I have the CMuse widget? Right here. And right before it, I had that Unicode character. You know, paste it there, restart Qtile, and now I have, yep, the 2 eighth notes here, where the CMuse information should appear once this is working correctly. I also need to do a Unicode character for the Pac-Man updates. I'm not sure what I want to go with that. Maybe something computer related, like Unicode computer. Yeah, that's a little too gaudy. I'm not sure what I want to go with. You know what? I'll just use one of these circles with the arrow, you know. Kind of fits with updating the system. How about that one right there? I'll copy that. At least for now, let's just get a rice done. Let's get something on paper. And that needs to go right there. Paste that, save, restart Qtile. Close Genie. Yeah, that's not bad. Instead of just having a number, 0, I would like to change that to 0 updates. And I can do that in Qtile because Qtile does have a widget called a text box. I opened up Firefox. I wanted to open up Genie. So let's see. So right here is the symbol and then 0 updates. What I need to do is put another widget right here called text box. And it needs to be just the word updates, I think. Updates, save, restart. Going through this kind of fast, so I do apologize. That's not bad, but updates is black, and the number for the updates of 0 is 0. So you know what? Maybe I could actually change that right there. How about I make it all black? Well, that didn't quite get the effect I wanted. That's not too bad. I think I can live with that for now. I'll eventually play around with that and see if I can get the color correct. Alright, so So I feel pretty good about where we're going here. And we're pretty close to being done, by the way, you guys. And looking at this power line, you notice I do have one more power line that's empty. You see this this arrow here with nothing in it. That's going to be my sys tray. I currently don't have the sys tray running, but that would be the sys tray. And there I would have like the network manager icon, Dropbox. I use Dropbox. PAMAC, if I wanted to use PAMAC, would also sit in the sys tray here. I think the last thing I want to do is I'm not sure about that wallpaper. Let me see if I can find some other wallpapers that are more appropriate. So let me go to preferences here. Let me show all my wallpapers by icon and see if I have anything that is appropriate for this color scheme. I probably don't have much. I mean, this is kind of a different kind of color scheme, so I probably don't have too much that's real appropriate. That fits, but I don't like that wallpaper. It's kind of cheesy. Let's see what else I have. That one there. Oh, let me change that so it's just on one monitor instead of all three. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That could kind of work for me. I do have some triple monitor stuff here. Triple monitor wallpapers. You know what? That's not bad either. I could kinda. You know what? The color is a little off. If I edited that in GIMP and added a little more bluish, purplish hue instead of, it's kind of got a brownish kind of hue to it right now, I think I could get that pretty close. And let's see. Change that so I made it a little darker and a little bit more blue and purple in it. And let me close nitrogen. I don't hate it. I like the DistroTube one with the the really dark wallpaper we did initially, but I would like to kind of do some nature wallpapers, something different, because that wallpaper that I did the first time, it's still the same wallpaper I've been looking at. I just changed a few of the colors. This is actually something different, so I think I may just go with this wallpaper. It does work. Let me see. Change the layout here. A good transparency, slight transparency. In Compton, I did a 95% transparency or opacity. So that is not bad. Let me open up the Lynx web browser, terminal-based web browser. Yeah. Change the layout. I'll open up a couple of things for you guys to check out here. Yeah, all this looks really good, actually. I think I could work with this. I think a lot of this stuff would work. Open up Vim. Change the layout here. Vim's not wanting to. Yeah. That's not bad. I'm not sure if I'm entirely happy with what I've done here, but that's not bad for a first rise. So you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and go over to Unix porn. And you know what? I say we post this thing. Of course, first I need to take some screenshots. I'm going to take some screenshots and I'm going to post this on Unix porn and call it a day. Before I go, though, I do need to give a special thanks to my patrons. A.K. Alan, Alex, Ansem, Tony, Bart, Benjamin, Ben, Bruno, Brian, Carlos, Christian, Chuck, Dan, the other Dan, Daniel, David, the other David, Eduardo, Greg, Humate, Interceptor, Jake, John, Carl, Katrina, Keith, Leor, Marcus, the other Marcus, Matt, Mark, Martin, Matthias, Michael, Mr. GFY, Mr. Smarty Pants, Mr. Neely, Pops, Paul, Rob, Robert, Ron, Silvio, First Stephen, Second Stephen, Third Stephen, Swami, Tiedemann, Voice Love, Tubella, and John. You guys rock. You guys help make this show possible. Peace, guys.